Hello and welcome to another edition of When in Vietnam. Have you ever wondered how Vietnam appears to the world? In this episode, we will meet people who tell compelling stories about Vietnam using sound and visual elements to transport their audience to beautiful places across the country. Let's meet a Frenchman and discover how Vietnam inspired him to become a filmmaker and photographer. Later, in Meet and Greet, we have Rice, a group of young talents passionate about telling stories of the people and communities in Southeast Asia. And last but not least, we meet award-winning freelance photographer Khánh Phan, who captures the beauty of Vietnam with her eyes and heart. Are you ready for this artistic journey? Here we go.
My name is Valentin Orange. I came in Vietnam in 2015 and I stayed 1 year in Vietnam. And then I had to come back to France to go back to university. But I really miss Vietnam. Always wanted to come back to Vietnam. I had some opportunity to come back in 2019. And since then I'm based in Hanoi.
A 31-year-old French filmmaker and photographer based in Hanoi, Valentin Orange has traveled extensively from the Brazilian Amazon rainforest to the remote regions of Myanmar. But in 2019, he finally decided to settle in Vietnam. As Vietnam became his creative inspiration, Orange traveled the length of the country, meeting local people and telling the stories of each place via its epic scenery.
Vietnam is really photogenic, especially Hanoi. If you go in the streets, you find everything photogenic, especially for Europeans or Westerners. So for me, it was quite easy to capture the beauty of Vietnam and also the landscapes. I really like northern Vietnam because of the landscape. I love the mountains, I love the rice fields and the specificity of northern Vietnam.
Landscapes of Vietnam, humans of Vietnam, and life in Vietnam are among the inspirations for the French filmmaker. Through his lens, the audience could admire gorgeous travel destinations shot by drone cameras, portraits of Vietnamese people, and typically daily life in the country's various regions, all reflecting a mixture of traditional and modern influences.
I've been to almost every part of Vietnam and I like the Mekong Delta. It's very different. It's like another face of Vietnam. It's really nice as well. The people also are very friendly there. I think Hoi An and Da Nang, Hue is very beautiful and the coast is beautiful. But my favorite is northern Vietnam. There's more amazing scenery there. I have two favorite places. The first one is definitely Puluong in Thanh Hoa province. This is my happy place. It's been, I think, 5 years that I go there every year. And I love the vibes there, the atmosphere. It's a very remote valley and you have beautiful rice paddies and it's green and I love the mountains there. And the second place, I think it's Ha Giang, because Ha Giang is very remote. When you do the loop by motorbike or by car, it's amazing. You have different sceneries, you have different landscapes. It's very beautiful there.
Besides photography and filming, Orange is also passionate about trail running. He has spent the past 8 years exploring the mountains of Southeast Asia and Europe in search of the most remote and wild places. And thanks to these running trails, Orange has captured the beauty of nature and wildlife in Vietnam, most recently in Cuc Phuong National Park.
Making sport video, especially trail running videos, it's a very good way to promote the landscape, the scenery, because Usually those races, they are in very remote places, far in the mountains, and it's a good opportunity to showcase the scenery of Vietnam.
It was really hard, but it was really, really beautiful. I had a great time. It was crazy. We had such incredible views, which was worth the hike, but it was really awesome.
Valentin Orange is not the first foreigner who uses visuals to take their audience to different places across Vietnam. As a result, Vietnam is no longer as remote as a map might suggest. Thanks to the vivid images captured by international photographers, the world has a window into Vietnam, its interesting stories, and its people.
There are many tourists that make very nice videos, but for me I think the main difference is that I'm based in Vietnam, so I know more about the culture. I've been here for 5 years, so I was also able to explore places that are not very popular or known for the tourists. Maybe better eye to see things that tourists won't really notice. I think Vietnam boosts my creativity. Around me, everything is exotic, especially because I'm not from here. So even if now I'm used to see things outside, for me, it's always like surprising. It pushes me to create more and beautiful content.
I've been following Rise since 2020.
Chính phủ đang thực hiện một loạt các biện pháp chưa từng có tiền lệ để ngăn chặn sự lây lan của virus SARS-CoV-2.
With Kickstart project is during the COVID. Seeing their videos on YouTube about local was really insightful. I found it super interesting, especially as a foreigner.
A whole new world of storytelling.
Rise was born 4 years ago, and we were just a small group of filmmakers who wants to tell a story across Asia. We specialize in documentary. Basically, we focus on storytelling.
Because there were so many talented people out there that have very good filming skill and any kind of art skill, and we want to tell those stories to the normal people out there that Vietnamese that is very talented.
We want to do series about the common people because the stories of KOL and the famous people you've already know.
we also thinking about, okay, how about the people, the Vietnamese that is living overseas, because they are like living in a different culture. They have to live in a completely different environment.
So that's why it's trigger us to do the story, and then to show to the Vietnamese community here or the foreigners community here that this is how the Vietnamese community portrayed like in each different country.
Mình đã cũng là có dòng máu Việt Nam ở trong người. Mình truyền các món ăn Việt Nam cho con gái, cho con trai.
We travel a lot, like across Asia. So for example, Singapore,
Hong Kong,
in the UK, Laos,
and Cambodia.
That series mostly we want to show their daily life, how they do, how they survive, and what obstacle they have to overcome.
Những người Việt mình đến nước ngoài, cái câu chuyện của họ nó thực sự là ẩn chứa rất là nhiều nghị lực và sự hy sinh.
And Rise Channel is like a thing that we like to do, and we kind of use the profit for our client jobs to fund for those projects.
And we also want to reach the younger people and like want to bring more value to the young people, not just old people watch documentary. And that's why we want to do it like very cinematic, filmmaking, documentary, and put it on YouTube, which can reach more young people.
This is a good way to kind of bring our stories, our people out there for the world to see.
So the question we always ask is, what is a good storytelling, right? And the main thing for the good storytelling is
Just focus on the emotion, focus on the story, focus on the person.
Cứ có một nơi nào đó yên tĩnh là mình sẽ suy nghĩ về cuộc đời nhiều hơn.
Vui có, buồn có.
Cái thời điểm đó mình cảm thấy
cuộc sống nó không có vươn lên nổi.
Cái nỗi đau về tâm lý không có thua nỗi đau về thể xác đâu. Nó đau lắm.
Nhưng mà cuối cùng nó cũng vượt qua hết tất cả.
Giờ cuộc sống mà có khó khăn gì thì mình cũng phải vui vẻ thôi.
I liked them at first, but then when I joined, I decided to stay because what Rise do is very meaningful. Like we're always trying to tell the authentic story to people, and not just the story, but also create an impact from the story for the profile that we interview.
For example, Cafe Balu is one of our most viral videos, and it was like very welcomed by the audience. And actually, after the video was on air, Cafe Balu received a lot of media coverage, and also benefit them in a sense of business.
Đúng rồi, cười lên, răng luôn, đúng rồi, đó.
So we believe that our channel do bring positive values to not only the audience that watching our videos, but also the one who are featured on our channel. So we are happy to contribute that skill to the audience and also the profile that we are featuring. We not only aim for the Vietnamese because we want the foreigner to know more about Vietnam culture, Vietnam food and drink, Vietnam heritage.
I've already lived here for 3 years. Through the Rise videos on YouTube, I actually learned so much more about the culture and the country, and I really appreciate it. And
When in Vietnam, after I finish my day here, I go out, I meet friends, we have food together. It makes you feel really alive to live here, and I just experience so many things. One week in Vietnam is more exciting than 1 year in Germany.
Our team believes the same thing. Good story will live on, as everyone has their own story.
Dạo hồi là cho tôi cái từ là thằng đen. Còn bây giờ tôi thay đổi cho tôi cư là được rồi.
Biệt danh là chính dáng rồi, bất dáng nãy giờ mà 20 năm có.
Cô tên là Hồng Mỹ Dung, năm nay 51 tuổi. Chức vụ của cô là tập vụ.
Mình tên là Huỳnh Đăng Thiết. Mình sinh ra và lớn lên tại Bình Định.
Chị tên là Vương Kim Long, năm nay chị 32 tuổi. Công việc hiện tại của chị là mình phục vụ cho bữa ăn trưa cho những cái hoàn cảnh khó khăn với giá 2.000 đồng.
The team is really young and they have such a big drive. To be honest, I tried a lot of different jobs. And most of the time I always thought it's about the money. And so there was no passion. And here it's like 6 p.m. We can actually go home, but people stay 1 or 2 hours longer because they are so excited about the project and they really want to finish it and work on it. And I love it because it's inspiring and motivating me.
The most beautiful thing about doing this job is that you kind of have a chance to meet many people with so amazing stories, spread the message that is positive and create impact to the society.
That's when you learn a lot.
And it keeps me like wake up every day and wanting to go to work.
Have you ever seen a photo that could be rotated 4 times, with each orientation having its own perspective and story, like this one? When seen at its original angle, the photo shows the image of a woman wearing a floral dress. When reversed, it looks like 2 women holding a large bouquet of flowers. Placed horizontally, the photo seems to tell the story of women decorating a chiffon scarf with flowers. Due to its unique features, the photo successfully beat out 60,000 others submitted by photographers from across the world to win the grand prize in the world's largest aerial photography competition, the 8th Skypixel Annual Photo and Video Contest. So well composed and balanced, simple and elegant. An absolutely fantastic image. These compliments came from the judges of the contest and confirmed the quality of the photo.
Mình rất là cảm mến sự thân thiện và sự chất phác thật thà của những cái người con của miền Tây Nam Bộ. Sự mềm mại uyển chuyển của họ trong lao động thì lúc đó mình đã tưởng tượng đến một cái gì đó nó rất là mềm mại, nó rất là thướt tha, nó rất là rực rỡ. Nên là mình đã xếp thành váy hoa.
Although she has only been pursuing photography for about 6 years, Khánh Phan has already garnered hundreds of local and international awards. The most impressive awards and huge turning points in her journey to pursue photography were the first prize in the People category of the Drone Sienna Awards 2019. the Best Photo Award from Agora, and winning the travel category of the 2021 Sony World Photography Awards. Most recently, at the end of April, the photographer won the Greenstorm Global Photography Award, adding to her growing list of achievements.
Cái chất liệu trong cái văn hóa Việt Nam nó thực sự rất là đặc biệt mà rất nhiều các quốc gia trên thế giới đã mất đi. Vì những cái chất liệu ở trong làng nghề Việt Nam, chất liệu văn hóa Việt Nam nó là một trong những cái chất liệu quý ở trong nhiếp ảnh. Và hiện tại bây giờ thì ngày càng nhiều các photo tour của những cái người nước ngoài muốn đến Việt Nam và trải nghiệm những cái văn hóa làng nghề như thế. Và cũng có rất là nhiều các nhiếp ảnh gia trên thế giới họ đoạt giải và giải thưởng trao cho những bức ảnh đó là những bức ảnh chụp tại Việt Nam.
The photographer has traveled all over the country to capture interesting moments and has diligently brought her works to international competitions and has been published in world magazines.
Cái mong ước thầm kín ở trong lòng mình là mang càng nhiều tác phẩm của mình ra thế giới để quảng bá văn hóa du lịch Việt Nam, chia sẻ với bạn bè thế giới về cái vẻ đẹp Việt Nam qua ảnh để làm sao mà bạn bè thế giới ngày càng đến Việt Nam du lịch nhiều. Và Khánh Phan nghĩ rằng đến thời điểm này Khánh Phan đã thành công.
Not only Khánh Phan, but many other Vietnamese photographers have also won high prizes in international photography competitions. Images of Vietnamese culture, landscapes, and people continuously appear in international photography contests and magazines, bringing the beauty of Vietnam to the world. And that wraps up this week's edition of When in Vietnam. We hope you had a great time watching the compelling stories that were featured in the last 30 minutes. When in Vietnam, we'll be back with more stories on the local cultural scene. Thank you, and bye for now.